So this is my flower bed, and it's looking a bit weedy. It's been taken over by the strawberries. But this is our lupin, and if we can see this, it's growing back nice and healthy. And we took some seeds from the lupins, and I showed you a video of how to save seeds for the lupins. But that's really recovering well. We had the buckets last year for the sunflower competition in buckets, but there's no competition in buckets this year, so I'm going to take the buckets out and we can grow some flowers. So this is rosemary. As we can see, it's coming out in flower now, and it smells absolutely lovely. So this is my main growing bed, and this is what I wanted to make as a traditional growing bed. Everything in nice neat rows. And this is in memory of my father, who died last year. And he loved his allotment, and he'd be amazed at how well this is looking now. So I'm doing this all in memory of my father. But what we've got some leeks, no we haven't, we've got garlic, and then we've got onions. Two different onions, a white onion and a red onion. And then the next row here, we've got shallots. And then the next row over, we've got a line of leeks. And they were planted last weekend. They're looking pretty good. The next row over is a line of carrots, and then the following line is a row of parsnips, and then we got the beetroot across the back, and then behind that is a row of Swedes, but for some reason all the Swedes that we planted have been pulled out, so I guess the birds have been pulling out the Swedes. So as we can see, all of the Swedes have been pulled out of the ground. So the next row over here will be the potatoes, as we have to have potatoes grown in the traditional bed. And then underneath the netting we've got a row of cabbages. And then there's a second row which is cauliflowers. And I'm trying to go with the slope of the smaller vegetables, that end sloping up towards the end. And down the back, on the end here, will be the sprouts, which will be taller. In the beds at the back is the two strawberry beds, and these are made the Hugelkultur way, using a lot of the contents from the allotment put into the beds, and then some compost on top. And then right at the row back is the netted brassica tents, and these will be for the broccolis and for the cauliflowers and for cabbages. This netted cage is full of raspberries, and they haven't been very successful at all. But I'm thinking of maybe removing all the raspberries and using this as a brassica tent. And then we can just walk straight in, walk straight out, and it'd be an easy job to maintain. Right in the corner here is a sunflower, and we're going to be growing sunflowers all the way along the front, and hopefully this can be for the sunflower challenge of next allotment diary. But I'm really pleased how this plot's gone on now. and it's only mid-April, and I was panicking a bit, but it's still frosty in the mornings, so there's no need to panic. So this is the pond, and we put the frog spawn into the pond, and there's a video of us showing us making the pond and adding the frog spawn. And although there's not many tadpoles to be seen, two have just popped up then, so we're glad there is some still here. We've also been donated a little house for the frogs, so I'm sure they will appreciate the little house. So there we go, we've got one on the side here. There's a couple down here. They're getting quite big now. There we go, look. Just disappeared again. There we go. Popping up and down. So I'm really loving this addition of the pond. And my daughter loves to come down and have a look to see how they're doing and how the froggies are. So this bed here is going to be my tomato bed, and we're going to grow the tomatoes in the cages. We did an experiment last year and it worked quite well, but it was quite late in the season and the tomatoes just got killed off by the weather, so we didn't have the full experiment. And I'm going to grow them here, and it's good because it's against the side of the path and I can pay lots of attention to them. And maybe we're going to grow our peas and beans in this bed, but we still need to sort out the rest of this bed. These two beds are the potato beds, this being the no-dig bed with the cardboard, the compost and potatoes just planted on top, and then the potatoes in the buckets covered with straw with the trellis over the top. There's no sign of anything yet, and then all we have in this bed is a few leeks and not much else. So this is the nursery bed, and it's got some of the lavenders, some of the plants that we've saved from the skip. And right at the back there, if it focuses, we've got some poppies growing along the back there, so that'd be nice. So the tunnel has not got a great deal in. We're just mainly using it for doing our seedlings. But one thing I will say is when I used one of the supermarket composts, it's coming up with nettles. That's just come from supermarket compost. So not really that impressed. And it's not just one pot, it's a few. So we have now moved the desk that was sat here, and we've put a water butt here to make it easier to water. And we've got some strawberries across the back, and they're already flowered and they're already producing some strawberries. So hopefully we'll get some more strawberries this year. The tomatoes are coming up, They're all rather dry, need a good water. And there's quite a few bits and pieces, cabbages, some broccolis, some tomato moneymaker, onions, just a few bits growing in here, some petunias, lobelia. We've got some peas, these really need to be getting out now. The squashes we did the other day, they're coming through now. Lettuce, and we've got some sunflowers. These are Russian giant sunflowers. They're coming up now, they've just appeared in the last week. So, not much else growing in here. Lots of weeds, some zinnias, beetroots, some more sunflowers. Oh, Jack in the... well, this is a pumpkin. That's coming up quite quickly now. So, not a great deal growing in here, it's been so hot. We've been concentrating quite a bit on the outside, and now the polytunnel has gone a bit mad. The broad beans in the polytunnel, they're doing quite well, but last Easter we were eating broad beans and there's not been many happen yet, but they are certainly flowering. The garlic has all been taken over by weeds, which is not good, as they don't like sharing. But if you've seen my videos in the past, you can see I had quite a bit of trouble with rodents in my tunnel, and I'm so reluctant to plant much in here because it just gets eaten. But spin you right round, and these were the leeks that came from Asda, and they've done really good. And some onions. If you remember, I had all broccolis, cabbages, and they also got eaten. So there we go. A few bits growing, but not a great deal. I did put 2 lines of lettuce here, and they did start to get eaten, but they actually seem to have recovered. So hopefully my critters may have moved on. So unfortunately, this was the seed tray which hadn't got watered, and that was my lobelias and my petunias, and unfortunately they never made it, and some zinnias that we potted up, which is really unfortunate, but these things set us back. We have got a couple of squash planted in this one, and some broccolis at the back there. So you do win some and you do lose some. There's nothing on the flowers that we sowed. And this tray has not got much on too. So I hope you enjoyed that quick tour, and as I've said in a previous video, time's got a lot tighter now with a change of career, so I'm only coming up 2 or 3 times during a week with a couple of hours at a time. So things are getting done, but it's slow, but there's no rush. But one thing that I'm really pleased with, and even though it's droopy as anything, we've got a little strawberry growing. So here we go. So keep watching and we'll get round to it one day, And as we say, there's no rush, there's no need to panic. Things will get done when they're done. There's really no need to stress. And I'd like to welcome all our new subscribers to our channel. Thank you very much, really appreciate it. And thank you for all the comments, really appreciate the comments. And all the people joining us on Facebook now, and really appreciate that. Be nice to get a nice community all together on there, so we can watch stuff growing and help each other out. But do need to get into these weeds, they're getting a bit annoying. So anyway, thank you very much, cheers. The tadpoles still here, still growing. Keep looking up for the legs, but nothing yet.